Today we're going to do a long-term review of the Kawasaki Z650. So I bought this bike in January of 2017. It is now in September 2019. So I've had this bike for over 2 years now since it was introduced. This is the 2017 year model Kawasaki Z650. For anyone that's followed this channel, you know I've done quite a few modifications to the bike as far as the exhaust, the intake, the rapid bike ECU, self-canceling turn signals, the bar end mirrors, little odds and ends. Changed it to short levers to make it a little bit more comfortable. Just overall made the bike to fit my likes and needs. Now in its stock form, the Kawasaki Z650 and Ninja 650 are excellent bikes. They're well designed and built bikes if you're a new rider, or if you're someone that's older or maybe shorter. It's got a nice upright seating position. The bike's comfortable. You're not as hunched over. It's low to the ground. It sits really well and really comfortable, whether you're going through the mountains on the curvy roads like I am right now, or if you do a long commute and you need comfort. It is an excellent bike for that. Now at highway speeds, the bike does not come with a windscreen, so that may be an issue. You may want to look at purchasing an aftermarket windscreen to help deflect some of that air if you do high speed, long distance commutes. Otherwise, it's not really a big issue. The bike is very well designed aerodynamically, and the wind, for me anyway, is not that bad of an issue. The one thing I will say about the seating position that could be a little bit better is the peg placement. If you look at the video I did on quirks of the Z650, skip past the first loud music section of that video to where I'm stopped on top of the mountain and I'm pointing out things on the bike. That's the peg placement. When you come to a stop and you want to put your feet down, it just seems like the placement could be just a little more to the rear. Would suit the bike a little bit better. I mean, it's comfortable while you're riding. It's the perfect position until you have to put your feet down. It's like the back of your calves or the front of your shins, depending what your style of feet placement is. They're just a little off. Now the power delivery on this bike is very consistent from the low RPMs all the way up to the top end. So if you're cruising around and you need to get up to pass someone, the power comes on quickly and smoothly. It's not like a sudden jolt of a super sport bike. You know, the inline fours, once they get to the upper RPM ranges, it's just like that's where the power comes on. This bike, it's smooth all the way across, and there's plenty of it. The one downside to the power delivery is going to be at low speeds, the on and off throttle due to the Euro 4 emissions. This bike in stock form, there's quite a bit of engine braking. So if you're a newer rider and you're not used to very finely turning the throttle, just finessing it to get going, it can be a little discerning, especially if you're in gravel or looser pavement taking off. You know, that sudden jerk of off and on the throttle, you have to be a little easy with it. Now the rapid bike ECU that I installed on this helps alleviate that. So that was a big improvement to this bike, and it also even more smoothed out the power delivery. So that's a great modification. As far as other performance and power and things of that nature and the riding comfort, a lot of people will complain about vibrations. I don't really have that issue. I wear pretty decent riding gloves always, and if you keep a loose grip like you're supposed to when riding, don't bear down and keep your arms stiff, you just light. You won't have near the issues with vibrations causing numbness or fatigue in your arms. I mean, this bike, you're almost sitting in a completely upright position, even me as a shorter fellow. So it's very easy just to barely keep enough of a grip to keep your throttle consistent, and like my other hand's just doing what it's going to do until I get into these corners. Then you definitely want to keep both hands on the handlebars for extra control when you're cornering, of course. But other than that, light, very light. You won't have the issues that you may hear about vibration in the handlebars. Now, when I added the Yoshimura exhaust, you can definitely hear it. You feel some vibration under your butt, but that's just the boom of the exhaust. There's no dB killer or silencer installed in my exhaust, so it is as loud as it gets. It is a fairly expensive exhaust. Some people will say, hey, it's not worth it, you can get cheaper exhausts. Yeah, you can, but this exhaust is specifically designed for the bike, where you can use it in stock form without having to worry about fuel controllers or custom fuel maps, anything of that nature. You just bolt it on, leave the silencer in, and you're good to go. But yeah, between the Yoshimura Alpha, the Rapid Bike ECU, this bike has plenty of performance. It sounds great. I've been extremely happy with it. Now, the biggest thing you're going to do to this bike, if you purchase it, especially if it's brand new off the showroom floor, if you're going to ride in varied terrain, like these are back mountain roads, this is not asphalt, this is tar and gravel road, so it gets very loose at times. You want better tires than the Dunlops that come on this bike. If you do a lot of wet weather riding, commuting, you want to get rid of the Dunlops. If you're on flat land, you don't have to worry about a lot of sharp turns and handling and poor road conditions. If you have good, pristine pavement, such as if you're in Florida, you know, otherwise you do get a lot of rain down there still, but the Dunlops will be just fine. Ride them for a season or two. I went with the Michelin Pilot 5s on this bike, and they are awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Michelins. So yeah, one of the biggest improvements you can do on this bike is better tires. It's another big bonus about these bikes. They come standard with a slipper clutch. I have become a huge fan of having a slipper clutch. Between my Ninja that has just a standard clutch, and then this Z650, which has the slipper clutch, oh my god, the transitions between shifts or having to rapidly downshift to reduce my speed, there's no wheel lockup. That thing ratchets around, and oh man, it just matches the rear wheel speed up to the engine so much more smooth than you can by manipulating the clutch lever yourself. I don't care how experienced you are, a slipper clutch is pretty damn badass. And that's a rather expensive component that comes on this budget bike at no additional cost. That in itself is a huge benefit for any beginner. It's going to take a lot of the wheel lockup and stalling. It reduces that tremendously, so you can get used to being able to shift gears, change, slow down, downshift, things of that nature. It just really helps smooth that transition out. As far as, you know, being short or a beginner or older and looking for comfort, I think this is one of the best bang for the buck bikes that you can get on the market. Tons of power, plenty of power. I mean, the 0 to 60 times on this bike rival that of some $100,000 plus supercars. And if that's not quick enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. So if you're wondering whether the 650 has enough power, yes it does. It has plenty. So, I mean, it just checks all of my boxes. Looks good, sounds good, feels good, handles good. The suspension could be a little bit better. You know, the front forks, I may look at possibly rebuilding that, doing something with it in the future. They compress, they're just a little bit squishy. When you really get into the hard braking in the cornering, it's just it just feels squishy. And the same thing with the brakes. I may do reinforced brake lines and put centered pads and see what I can do to, you know, help the stopping power out a little bit. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's more than adequate, but sometimes I really have to get on the brakes fairly hard, and I would prefer just a little bit more firmness. But anyway, guys, that's just a few pros and cons overall review of what I think about this bike in the 2 years plus that I've owned it. I mean, it's been a great bike. I love it, and I enjoy riding it, and it's comfortable. I think if you're looking to get into riding a motorcycle, you can't go wrong with this. You know, maybe start off on something a little bit smaller. But for any of you people that are watching this to get a long-term review of ownership on the Z650, someone that's done a lot of work, a lot of videos on this bike, browse through the channel, check out. You might find answers to any questions you have. If you don't see anything, leave me a message below, and I'll do what I can to help you find the answer to that question. But until next time, guys, you all ride safe, and we'll see you later.